Hi, everybody, and welcome back. It is good to be back because I have been mulling something over for a very long time, and I think I have my ideas and thoughts sorted enough to share it with you. Remember, in my last video, I asked you what you think the Summer Wells, Madeleine McCann, and JonBenet Ramsey cases have in common. I think the similarities are obviously not immediately apparent because these three girls are from different backgrounds and heck, even different countries. And one, JonBenet, was indeed found deceased, while the other two are still missing. So, what on earth could they have in common? In my eyes, in my mind, and my opinion, the main thing they have in common is that in each case, the parents were actually present only a few feet away or a few meters away when they disappeared. Yes, it wasn't like other children who were riding a bike a block or more from home or visiting a relative or friend. No, Summer Wells was home. JonBenet Ramsey was at home. And Madeleine McCann was home, albeit that home was a cabin at Praia de Luz and for a week or so. Okay? They were not in the care of strangers or extended family. All three, these girls, were in the care of their parents at the time of their disappearance. The other rather significant yet superficial thing is that all three girls supposedly disappeared late afternoon or evening. Summer disappeared between 4 and 6:30. JonBenet went missing during the night of the 25th or 26th of December, and Madeleine McCann at approximately 10 past 10 at night, more or less. So all three little girls disappeared on their parents' watch, and all three disappeared in the PM. What else? Yes, in all three cases, there were allegations of SA or sexual assault. And in all three cases, one or both of the parents came under suspicion at some point. And strangely enough, in all three cases, there was a time when the mother looked more suspicious than the father. In JonBenet and in Summer's case, there were also older brothers or a brother, and sibling rivalry could have been a factor. And many have indeed speculated that it could have been the cause of the disappearance or the death. In JonBenet's case, her father had almost made a career for himself out of her death. He had been very vocal and have often appeared in the media. Shows like the Dr. Phil show and others had ensured that the JonBenet Ramsey case stay in the news. And although the Madeleine McCann case has always been of international interest, the young woman who recently came out and said that she may be Madeleine brought renewed attention to the case. Until there is some sort of resolution, the JonBenet and Madeleine McCann cases will continue to replay and replay in the future because of the original scale of the investigations, the economic and public profile of the parents, and obviously the media interest. But who is going to keep the Summer Wells case alive? How many other cases have actually disappeared because people are fickle? They will follow one story day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out. But the moment there's another salacious or mainstream or big case or case that got a lot of attention, whoops, they all jump on that bandwagon and they leave this other case they have been so intrigued by for such a long time by the wayside, and eventually it gets forgotten. We know that Harmony Montgomery's father had finally been charged with the death. But what about Oakley Carlson? Where is Lena Kiel? Where is Vanessa Morales? What happened to Maria Alaves? And the list goes on and on. And this is just a small, small portion of little girls who had gone missing. What about the little boys who had gone missing? The point is that except in cases where the parents or a parent or a third party obviously did something, most of these cases linger like a stench for years and years. Law enforcement appear to do their due diligence in most of the cases, and that is where it eventually ends as the years pass and everyone move on. They move on to other cases, they resign or they retire, etc. But of course, there are the odd exceptions where a child has perhaps touched an investigator personally and where it haunts him till the end of his days. But for every good guy, there are many bad guys who are getting away with their evil deeds, and often because in modern society the criminal is better protected than the victim. We often have to hear there is nothing more law enforcement can do because the suspect lawyered up or revoked his or her Fifth Amendment right, and then there it stays. It is as if society has nothing left to fear because even if found guilty, nothing much will happen. A couple of years in prison where their human rights will be better protected than the crown jewels. While the public becomes increasingly anxious for their safety and praying for fair protection, it appears that most governments are scrambling to stretch the limits of wokery, expanding human rights to the point where no one is actually enjoying human rights. We saw that in Scotland in their prisons when a rapist got the bright idea to identify as female and where his so-called human rights had him transferred to a female prison where he went on to do what he landed in prison for in the first place. So you see what I mean with stretching human rights so far that no one actually ends up having any. In the meantime, while leaders are openly sniffing children on television and no one bats an eye, our children are disappearing and dying, and authorities are shrugging it off. Oh well, they lawyered up. There's nothing we can do. Pathetic. That is pathetic. Look, accidents happen. Parents are human. They need the loo. They fall asleep. They turn their backs. They make mistakes. We all do. But if parents are not prepared to take any responsibility and not be held accountable for anything, then why have children at all? So in short, and to circle back to where I started this video, for me, in my opinion, the last thing the Summerwells, JonBenet, and Madeleine McCann cases have in common is this. Do I 100% believe a stranger took Summer? No. Do I 100% believe a stranger took Madeleine McCann? No. Do I 100% believe a stranger killed JonBenet? No. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And at the same time, that is it from me for now. Please note that this video reflects my personal opinion and is not a reflection of or accusation against anyone, living or dead. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you back here soon as possible. Until then, take good care of yourselves. Bye.